They move like shadows, strike like lightning, and disappear before the sirens arrive. But tonight, the cameras capture every dangerous turn. Expect speed, precision, and moments that defy belief. Stay locked in. The next corner changes everything. Officers first spot a rider without a helmet, and there is another major red flag. The motorcycle's license plate is deliberately covered with a black plastic bag. As soon as he notices the patrol unit, he accelerates and takes off. Officers issue a clear order to stop, but he ignores it and heads straight toward the avenue, apparently looking for more open road and even greater speed. Now watch what he does next. At high speed, the rider stretches flat across the motorcycle in a reckless Superman position. He gives up stability and control just to gain a few more seconds of escape. At this point, he is no longer thinking about his own safety or the danger he is creating for everyone around him. Still, the officers remain firmly on his trail. Then the stunt catches up with him. The motorcycle strikes the median, sending both the rider and the bike onto the pavement. For a moment, it looks like the pursuit is finally over. Officers close in, expecting to secure him. But somehow he gets back up and starts running again.
Caiu! Para! Volta na contramão!
That unexpected escape changes the entire situation. Even after a high-speed crash, he still refuses to surrender. But the officers stay focused and continue the pursuit on foot. He may have bought himself a few extra seconds, but every reckless decision is quickly closing off another possible way out. That unexpected escape changes the entire situation. Even after the crash, he still refuses to surrender. But the officers remain composed, continue the pursuit, and rely on their training to close the distance. No matter how fast he rides or how many desperate moves he attempts, skill, coordination, and persistence keep the officers firmly on his trail. He may gain a few seconds, but he cannot outrun the consequences forever. In the end, karma has a way of catching everyone. On Highway SH-38, a sport motorcycle passed the radar at 52 miles per hour. Moments later, however, the rider whipped around and accelerated to more than 100 miles per hour through the darkness.
I run about 33 right now. I want to see him.
Rather than engaging him head-on, officers waited for the right opportunity. Then, with a precise right-side bumper block, they brought the pursuit to an end within seconds.
No, put your hand behind your back. Put your hand behind your back.
I wasn't running.
Yeah, you were freaking running.
No, I was killing.
In the end, Jackson went from waving as though he wanted to negotiate to being placed in handcuffs and facing several serious charges. The case proves one thing: Speed may outrun the wind, but it can never outrun discipline.
Bro, I was stopping.
Well, you've seen plenty of body cam footage from officers chasing reckless bikers. Now let's flip the camera and ride along with the guys causing all the trouble. Pulling wheelies beside a state trooper like consequences are optional, and common sense took the day off. Spoiler alert, they're not.
Sai na frente, meu!
Ai, Marlon! Já abaixa!
A fleeing rider often believes the next turn will create freedom. But panic rarely improves judgment. In this case, every decision appeared to produce a more dangerous problem than the one Burnside was trying to leave behind.
On the Constant Street West. It's low risk, speed 30, to right on the Foreman Street. 0, medium risk to pedestrians on the pavement. Going out towards the White Horse on the A167, it's medium risk, he's performing overtakes. Passing stand traffic, speed 30. So left on the Fair Tree Lane.
The original situation involved illegal motorcycle use. Then came the refusal to stop, speeds reaching 80 miles per hour, red lights, opposing traffic, and a public park. That is how panic creates a tunnel. The rider sees only the next opening, while the consequences keep expanding outside his view.
So left at Asda's. Medium risk. Speed 70. Got the risk of the high due to the speed, he's now 80. Well, at the roundabout, it's not one. Taking the second towards the town centre. Sting of Horton Green. Vehicle strong, vehicle strong. So successful sting on both tyres. Speed is 25 mile an hour. On the roundabout, it's not one, not one. He's gone off-road. We're on a back lane. He's out on a pavement.
When officers briefly lost sight of him, Burnside may have believed he had created separation. Instead, the chase had simply entered another phase. Police coordination continued, and neighborhood officers located him nearby after the motorcycle entered the river. Losing the officer in the mirror did not end the police response.
Has there been a motorbike this way?
It's come through here when you go the other side of the woods.
Did it go that way?
I think it went that way. I heard a car, something.
Have you hurt yourself? No. You okay? Right. Have you got any injuries?
I don't know, but it's really cold.
Right. You been in the water? Come on. You hurt yourself?
Oh, shit.
He was treated for hypothermia, arrested, and later sentenced by the court.
Right.
The driving ban and 300 hours of unpaid work were not caused by 1 second of bad luck.
Right.
They followed a chain of choices. Karma here is not the crash. It is watching a minor offense grow heavier with every attempt to escape responsibility. Chase began with 2 helmetless riders on a motorcycle with no visible plate. The bike appeared nearly stripped down, giving officers more than enough reason to investigate. Instead of stopping, the driver fled through the neighborhood. He allowed his passenger to jump off, then continued the escape alone as officers stayed close behind. But the most powerful part of this video did not come from the motorcycle pursuit. It came when ordinary residents saw what was happening and made a split-second decision to help.
Para a moto! Desliga a moto!
Those good Samaritans prevented the rider from escaping farther and gave police time to secure him. Their courage deserves recognition, although civilians should always consider their own safety before becoming involved.
Permanece com a mão na cabeça, fechou? A moto é B.O., filhão? Aqui, ó. Aí. Abre mais as pernas. Aí. A motinha tá tudo certa.
Imagine standing in your front yard when the sound of a motorcycle suddenly tears through the neighborhood. Seconds later, a trooper follows behind with lights and siren activated. What began miles away as a missing tag stop is now arriving at your property at highway level speed. The rider misses the turn, cuts through a field, reaches Poplar Road, and then loses control near a chain-link fence. From a homeowner's perspective, there is no time to understand what is happening. The greatest danger is not only the fleeing rider or the pursuing officer, it is the unpredictability of where that motorcycle might travel next.
Yeah, I'm sorry that one.
Right on Popular, aren't we? Oh, stand by. Going through a yard, at least trying to get back to Popular. We're gonna be using Popular.
4157 East on Poplar.
After the crash, the rider runs through another yard before officers bring the pursuit to an end. The property owner is contacted, the fence damage is documented, and the rider receives medical evaluation before being taken to jail. This is why fleeing is never a private decision. Every driveway, yard, fence, and family along the route can become part of a situation they never chose to enter.
I still have this intact.
Wait, did that speedometer really pass 230 kilometers per hour? The Aprilia rider saw a traffic officer and immediately launched into highway traffic, apparently believing raw acceleration could erase the problem behind him. But here is the surprising part. The motorcycle officer remained close. Minute after minute, the rider threaded between vehicles while the officer continued tracking him without letting the pursuit dissolve into chaos. Then came the move the rider probably never expected. The officer pulled alongside, reached for the controls, and forced the engine off before additional units arrived. The real shock was not the speed, it was how quickly confidence disappeared once the motorcycle stopped. On public roads, horsepower may create distance, but it cannot cancel traffic laws or the danger imposed on innocent motorists. How does a routine stop sign violation end with a motorcycle abandoned in a field? It began when a trooper saw two riders ignore a stop sign near North 18th Street. Instead of pulling over, both looked back and fled, immediately turning an ordinary traffic stop into an unpredictable pursuit.
Down past 12th Street. Yellow dirt bike.
Then the risks multiplied. One rider entered a sidewalk while the other traveled on the wrong side of the road. After they separated, the yellow bike rider threaded between parked vehicles, made a hard turn onto Turner Street, and nearly lost control before disappearing through someone's backyard.
Now making a right on Turner off 13th Street. Yellow dirt bike, blue t-shirt, black pants.
But the escape route had one final surprise. The trooper repositioned between two houses and soon spotted the motorcycle lying in a ditch. The rider was moving toward the woods, but he ultimately complied and was secured. What began with one stop sign ended at the county jail, a dramatic example of how quickly poor decisions can compound.
Get down on the ground right now. Get down on the ground. Come over here towards me. Come over here towards me. How tall are you? How much you weigh? One what? Follow me.
One quiet street, one red Sahara motorcycle, one major red flag. It had no license plate and was reportedly stolen. The rider stopped as soon as he spotted the police unit. According to officers, isolated areas like this are often used for illegal motorcycle stunts in Brazil. But an empty road is not a law-free zone. The bike can be recovered, examined, and connected to a wider investigation. On State Highway 1, suspect McCarthy heard the sirens and hit the throttle. He blew past cars on the shoulder, squeezed through lane constrictions, weaved into the opposing lanes near Red Wolf, and kept the needle pinned near 100 miles per hour through Highland.
Got an address on Kingsbury.
That's pure adrenaline tunnel vision, seeing only the escape ahead, not the safety net closing around him.
Southwest Rescue Organization submitted Riley McCarthy, 916-855-464.
From the officer's side, rather than risk a hard stop on a motorcycle, they managed pursuit speed, stayed in communication with dispatch, prioritized traffic control at Parker/Watt, and opted for a soft containment zone in the concrete lot and adjoining field.
Not wrecked. Turn south on Watt.
When the suspect went down at low speed and surrendered, medical and temporary custody procedures were carried out by the book.
All right, have a seat. Forward, John, bro. I got a deal when you're ready.
Okay.
916-855.
Uniforme é contigo! Delta, 82!
One look at Rocam was all it took for this rider to turn a routine patrol into a dangerous street pursuit. Instead of stopping, he opened the throttle and tried to disappear through São Paulo's crowded roads. For nearly 20 minutes, officers followed through tight turns, intersections, and unpredictable traffic. As the chase continued, more police units joined the operation, while the Águia helicopter tracked every move from above. What began as one rider versus one patrol had quickly become a coordinated containment effort.
Chegou, a placa volta com o QRU?
But speed was only buying him time, not freedom. Every sudden turn reduced his escape routes, while the helicopter helped officers stay one step ahead. Eventually, the motorcycle lost stability and went down, giving Rocam the opening they needed. Officers closed in immediately and brought the pursuit to an end. The lesson is simple. Running may turn a minor stop into a major police response, and once the ground units and air support work together, the road ahead becomes very small.
Põe a mão pra trás, perdão. Põe a mão pra trás. Põe a mão pra trás. Põe a mão pra trás. Vira ele. Você faz isso.
Speed created the chaos, but split-second tactics decided the ending. Which police move changed everything? Share your verdict, hit like, and subscribe to FlashMoment. The next pursuit begins where control disappears.